Hi, second graders. Today we are going to learn about text features in nonfiction text. Remember, nonfiction text is text that's about real life things. Our learning target is I will be able to use various text features to read nonfiction efficiently. So let's start looking at the different types of text features that we might run into in nonfiction. The first one is a title. The title is important in nonfiction because it will tell us what we are going to read about. You can see it that this book over here will be A Frog's Life, so it's going to be about the life cycle of a frog. And this one, called I Descent, Ruth Bader Ginsburg Makes Her Mark, is going to be about this woman named Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The next thing we would see in a nonfiction text is a table of contents. The table of contents gives us all the different sections that the book will be about. So this book has a table of contents that tells about the different things happening in the book. So the first section is called It's a Spider. So it'll probably be talking about what makes a spider a spider. Or later on, it talks about baby spiders. So it would talk about the different, or how baby spiders are made, if they're born alive or if they come from eggs. And then we can also look at this other example of a table of contents from a book about volcanoes. The first chapter is called When Earth Explodes. So it would probably be talking about volcanoes erupting. So we can look at the different parts of the table of contents, or the different sections in the table of contents, to figure out which part of the book we might want to go to, depending on what we want to read about. Our next part is called headings. These are going to be at the beginning of each section, and they would match up with the sections we saw in the table of contents. So this heading is teeth and tails. So in the table of contents of this book, they would have a section called Teeth and Tails on page 11. And it tells us what this whole section will be about. In our pages, we also see something called bolded words. Bolded words are words that are written in darker letters that make them stand out. Usually these are words that you might not know, and they would be your vocabulary words. We can find out what these vocabulary words mean by looking in the glossary. The glossary is a small dictionary at the back of each of your books. So you can see how it has words that would be in bold throughout the text, and then it gives us the definition. So the first one is, on this example, is calf, which means a young giraffe. More than one calf is calves. So it gives you some information about those words. Next, we might also see graphs and charts in our nonfiction texts. These will give us some more information about what we're reading, and we can look at the different ways that data can be described and portrayed. So this one over here is called a graph, and we would usually have numbers down here and numbers up here to describe what we're seeing in the graph. And our table over here, or our chart, is giving us examples of the different habitats and animals and plants that live in each of the habitats. And finally, we will have pictures and captions. So pictures in nonfiction texts aren't usually just to look at for fun. They give us more information about what we just read. So this book is giving us, or this picture is giving us more information about the lion. And it's telling us about its teeth and its mouth and how its ears work and why its tail is important. So that's all I have today about our nonfiction features.